The other day I showed you a sort of fancy loft with an almost hyperbolic shape. I decided to create a macro to do that automatically, but ran into a little problem. I'll start here with the regular old loft and a surface that I can attach it to for demonstration purposes. Think of it as part of a machine, and the loft is another part that needs to be attached. I just select the loft and run the macro, which I have tentatively named parametric section, and it automatically goes through all of the steps I showed you before, except for creating the final loft. But to make it easier, it does put the 3 profiles needed in order in the loft sections compound. So now I just create my loft, add the sections, tell it I want a solid, and OK. And there we have it. All is well, right? Well, not exactly. As I was throwing a few test cases at it, I tested to see what happens if the loft is already attached somewhere, and then I decide to change its shape. So I attach it to the surface, and as you can see, there is a problem. The loft is attached, but it's left the sketches behind. But press ahead and see if that somehow works out anyway. I'll select the loft and the parametric section, and this does not look promising. The parametric section is relative to the new position of the loft, while the sketches are relative to the old position. Nevertheless, I'll make my loft. And that's just wrong. As is often true in CAD, there's more than one way to solve this problem. Instead of attaching the loft to the surface, I could attach the base sketch and then attach the other sketch to the base sketch and use a Z offset. Then I could modify the macro to be sure to attach the plane and the common to one of the sketches to fix it all in place. But perhaps a more interesting way is to use a part. It actually has no shape of its own. Instead, part provides yet another local coordinate space. Anything pulled inside the part sees the part local space as if it were the global space of the document. That way, no matter how you move the part itself around, the features inside don't feel the change. The original idea of part was to make assembly easier because it can take a series of features that are meant to be a single unit and keep them in the same spatial arrangement while moving them as a whole. But it can also be used here. I'll just add a part, and now I'll drag the loft into the part. As you can see, by dragging the loft into the part, the sketches follow. Now I can select the part and go to the Part menu, Attachment, and attach it to the surface. You'll notice this time the sketches came along for the ride. The sketch at the top of the loft still considers itself to be offset only in the Z direction from the sketch at the base of the loft, in spite of how it's oriented in global space. So now I can select the loft, run the parametric section macro, and that looks a lot more promising. I can open up the loft section and see what I need to include in the second loft. Sketch, wire binder, Sketch 001. Check Create Solid, and OK. That doesn't look right, but note as I take the second loft and drag it into the part, everything is as it should be. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video or found it useful, please like, subscribe, and share. If there's anything you'd like to see covered here, please let me know in the comments below.